I'm going to say the Clippers. That team defensively is going to be great.
Great. I mean,
Great.
All time.
historic.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm going with the Clippers. And
That's why the Clippers are my choice to make it to the NBA Finals out of the West.
I have a hard time picking against the Clippers.
the Clippers.
The Clippers. At one point at the beginning of the season, they were the favorite. Analysts, former players raved about their depth, raved about Kawhi and Paul George, raved about their coach. And now we've seen perhaps the biggest collapse from a team in recent history. They were up by almost 20 in Game 5 near the end of the third quarter, but the Clippers are known to collapse. Look at 2015 when they blew a 19-point lead. The common denominator? Doc Rivers, who has now blown more 3-win series leads than any coach in NBA history, and is 6-8 in Game 7s. Even Phil Jackson knew.
This team has lost more games in the fourth quarter than anybody in the NBA. They know how to lose in the fourth quarter, all right? They're just showing us that right now.
They know how to lose. Think about that. We've seen it throughout this whole series. Yeah. Also, Sage savagery. Kawhi and Paul George had 0 points in the fourth quarter of Game 7. Yeah. What is up, dudes, dudettes, ballers, players? It's your boy MJ. It isn't just Doc Rivers. We have Playoff P, or Pandemic P, whatever you want to call him, Paul George. PG is supposed to be a leader on this team. He's supposed to be a star, borderline superstar player. Heck, he finished top 3 in MVP voting in 2019. And then he's put up performances like these. Some of these have been in win or go home situations. He's had multiple games just these playoffs of shooting 25% from the field, and there's no excuses. In 2019 it was a shoulder, in 2018 it was Carmelo. Now he's healthy according to him.
Shoulders is cool.
Good.
Yeah, shoulders
Then
is
you
cool.
heard that?
And he couldn't produce. It's not even as if he had the best defender on him at all times, because a lot of times Kawhi would be on the court together and the better defender would go to Kawhi. He simply could not produce. If you enjoyed the content, drop a like, 6K likes for another video on Friday, and subscribe for more content. We're dropping weekly videos, and more than 8% of y'all not subscribed, so come on. And let's not forget about Kawhi. Max Kellerman, I want a public apology.
Kawhi's not playing with Steph and Clay. So under pressure, yes, Kawhi is better than Kobe was.
Look at Kawhi's Game 7 performance. In fact, look at the whole Clippers. Their top 3 scorers all struggled. Is that Kawhi's fault? Not exactly. He got the shots he wanted, he just didn't make them. These are shots that Kawhi typically makes, and that can happen when you make a living off of making tough shots. Kawhi left the Raptors for the Clippers and ended up with the same results.
He's right there.
The difference between the Clippers and the Raptors was a sense of team chemistry and an identity, something to fall back on when things aren't going your way. Kawhi really couldn't get going, and they didn't have anything to fall back on. The most important flaw of the Clippers, which was always mentioned but never fully addressed, was their chemistry, and specifically their lack of playing time together. Kawhi and Paul George played a combined 43 games out of a total 72 games played for the Clippers. That means they played in less than 60% of their games with their superstars. Yeah, load management is cool, but not when you got multiple new pieces. They just didn't have an identity or system. And then think about Kawhi, who has primarily been in structured teams with great coaches and management like the Spurs and Raptors. Without structure, you lend yourself to letdowns, which is exactly what happened here. The Clippers may have had team jokes, a sense of camaraderie in making fun of other players, but it didn't translate to a sense of team chemistry on the court, especially since you had 2 new stars integrating into the offense and y'all barely play. Lou Will said the best: a lot of the issues we ran into, talent bailed us out, chemistry didn't. It failed us. I mean, I guess they knew that, but they just didn't want to really address it. It's kind of weird because it was all in the back of our heads, sometimes in the forefront of our heads, but we never really talked about it. I mean, so many people had the Clippers winning, but didn't really think about the issue of, yo, the superstars really ain't played together. That's a problem. And without a true floor general, this is bound to happen. Kawhi led all Clippers in assists at 4.9 per game. That ain't it. There was no true point guard that could run the offense, and because of that, it fell on the team as a whole to get the offense going. But because the Clippers had no chemistry, it became hero ball. Whoever had the hot hand, the ball goes there. And that worked since the Clippers had so much talent. And while I don't detest hero ball, it can't be a substitute for an efficient running offense. For all the trash talk, Patrick Beverley ain't doing much as a point guard, and Dame literally murking him on Twitter. During the regular season, the Clippers were 22nd in assists per game, and that can be okay if you're the Rockets and Trailblazers when you have James Harden and Dame isolating, and also Westbrook, but you shouldn't if you're the Clippers. Kawhi is not LeBron in that sense. He's not the guy that runs the offense. Paul George has in the past to some extent, but both of these stars had traditional point guards or guards capable of setting teammates up consistently. Kawhi had Kyle Lowry, who performed. He had Tony Parker in the Popovich system. PG had George Hill, who was at the time a steady hand on the Pacers. Yes, these two would handle the ball, and yes, they could be point forwards in their own right, but at the end of the day, they were always paired up with a point guard who was more of the floor general, more of that rock on the offense. This is why a bunch of talent put together doesn't mean championship. Look no further than the 2004 Lakers that had team issues off the court and would eventually have on-court chemistry problems that would lead to their demise. Because the Lakers in 2004 were stacked. No one thought they could really lose if you look at the talent, but if you look at their play, you could see the cracks, and that's what we saw with the Clippers this whole season. Now, where did the Clippers go from here? Kawhi's contract is up next year. PG ends next year. Lou Will ends next year. Yeah, Harold is going to want to be paid this offseason since his contract ends now. The Clippers have no first round picks till 2027. Thank Pandemic P for that one.
It's a bad shot.
That means they have no real trade assets besides the players they have, no cap space to add players, so they are left with a very few amount of options. That is to either try again and make sure the team is a well-oiled running machine, or cut their losses to try avoid risk and trade Kawhi. Trading Kawhi would shake the NBA again, but it also really depends on Kawhi and what he wants. From what he said, he's wanted to have some sort of offensive scheme, but the Clippers didn't really have that. Now we sort of have two players, Kawhi and Giannis, that could completely change the whole fabric of the NBA. And the funny thing is that Kawhi really did make it all the way in the East, and he probably could have made it again with the Raptors. The Raptors were missing just a bit of firepower, and Kawhi could provide it to him. But instead, he went to the Clippers with Paul George, and he didn't get what he wanted. He got the load management part, he didn't get an offensive system. Yeah, you would think Doc Rivers would have it, but he didn't. So, we back in that Kawhi watch. But what do you think? What should the Clippers do? What should Kawhi do? Drop a like, follow me on Twitter and IG for my initial thoughts on games. Twitch be popping because we be streaming there weekly. And if you're still here, you already won, so comment 3-1 so I know. The Instagram shout of the day goes to Khalil, and the all-day notification shout goes to Ping. Thanks for the all-day support. Make sure to bell for all notifications, and if you're not a sub, hit the subscribe button to join the all-day community for more fire content, all-day support. It's your boy MJ. We out, and we vibing.
Okay, just hop in my spaceship, no. Okay, just hop in my spaceship. Okay, just hop in my spaceship, no.